I'm about to tell you something that you may not want to hear. It's dry. We're in drought. It hasn't rained much and it shows. Range productivity is down by 50%. Now, the oldest rule in the range management playbook is to match the stocking rate to the carrying capacity. The carrying capacity is how much grass we grow. It's our supply. The stocking rate is how much grass we take. It's the demand. We need to match the demand to the supply. So, when carrying capacity drops, we need to reduce our stocking rate. We need to destock. Unless we're willing to overstock the range and reduce our long-term capacity and profitability. And you cannot feed your way out of a drought. So we need to destock. But by how much? Now we have half as much grass as we'd have in a normal year. So most people would say we need to destock by half. Well, let's see if that's right. Let's say that in a normal year, we grow 3,000 pounds of forage per acre. Now, good year or bad, there is some minimum amount of residue that we need to leave to protect the soil and maintain the health of perennial grasses. Let's say that we think that minimum is 1,000 pounds per acre. Now, that's the minimum that we want to leave. That means we have 2,000 pounds of available forage. Now, this year we grew 50% less grass than normal. So instead of 3,000 pounds of forage per acre, we only grew 1,500 pounds. We still need to leave 1,000 pounds of residue. So we have half the normal total production, but only 1/4 of our normal available production. Production is down by 75%, so we need to destock by 75%. If we don't destock by 75%, we'll be overstocked and we'll trigger several very negative long-term consequences. This is one reason why it's so important to have enterprises that are compatible with the drought risk of your ranch. That means in areas where drought risk is high, we need to have enterprises, at least one enterprise, that's easy to destock. And we need to have a plan to preserve our capital for when the drought breaks and we can restock the ranch, and to give us adequate cash flow to pay the bills. The bills don't stop just because it didn't rain. But that's another conversation for another day. The take-home message here is that good year or bad, there is a minimum amount of residue that we should leave. That means if total production is off by some percentage, available production is off by even more. Now, the consequences of overstocking in drought are long-term loss of productivity and profitability. And if you're ranching for profit, you simply won't do it. Look, drought is a normal part of ranching. There are more dry years than there are wet years. Destocking is just one of the strategies for coping with drought. If you're serious about making a healthy profit and improving your range, you need a plan to prepare for, to manage through, and recover from drought. It's simple to do, if you know how. We'll show you how at the Ranching for Profit School.